Hello class. Now, today we're going to be looking at adaptation, all right? But right before we begin, I want us to ensure that we've got all our equipment with us, all right? Your pen, your pencil, your ruler, your green pen as well, because remember, we're going to be annotating our work, we're going to be making corrections and marking our works as well, all right? So I would like you to pause the video while you look around and ensure you've got all your equipment with you. All right, I believe you've got that now. Brilliant. So like I said earlier, we are looking at adaptations, all right? And our learning objective, okay, is to understand how animals and plants are adapted to their environment, okay? Now, like we always do, I want us to write down our learning objective in our books. Again, pause the video, write it, and then when you're done, continue the video. Are you all done? Well done. All right, let's move on. Now, what I want us to do now is to actually answer our retrieval question. Okay. Now, these questions are based on what we've done over the past few lessons. Okay. So let's try and answer them and see how much we can remember. Okay. So again, pause it and then answer the questions. All right. Are we all done? Were you able to answer every question? All right. Well done. Now, the question is asking what is a population? What is a community? What is an ecosystem? And the challenge question for you was to name two abiotic factors and two biotic factors. All right. So the first question is asking what is a population? What do you think a population is? So a population is where all the members of a single species human is living in an habitat. Well, all members of a single species living in an habitat. For example, humans, for example. All right. Our school is in Moston. Okay. We've got a community of humans living in Moston area. Okay, so that is our habitat. That is a population. Does that make sense? All right. Now the next question is now asking us, what is a community? Now you see, this might actually throw a lot of us. Our population communities are not very similar. Where it is different. Okay. Remember, population is a single type of species. For example, a species of rabbits in an area. Okay, that's a population of rabbits. All right. So a community is all different plants and animals living in a specific area. So that is basically talking about different species, different animals, different plants living in an area. Does that make sense? Well done. Now the next question is asking us, what is an ecosystem? Okay, so an ecosystem is basically a natural environment of plants and animals interacting with their environment. Okay, so ecosystem, that word interacting with the environment is very, 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 very key. Without that interaction, then there's no ecosystem, if that makes sense. All right, brilliant. So how many of us were able to answer the challenge question? Okay, let's have a look. So name two abiotic factors and two biotic factors. Now, okay, so abiotic, remember, competition, predators, and new pathogens. Okay, those are biotic factors. All right, and then abiotic, all right, that is almost environmental. It's things like the soil pH, the temperature, and the oxygen level. Okay, that is abiotic factor. Remember, biotic is almost living, if you get what I mean. Okay, so abiotic is almost like an environmental factor. Does that make sense? Brilliant. All right, how many of us got everything right? I'm sure you did get most things right, but well done. What is quite important for you is to make sure you make those corrections, okay? So take a green pen right now, pause the video, and mark your work and correct the ones that I didn't do well, okay? All right, are we all done? Brilliant. So, like I said, we're looking at adaptation today. And hopefully, by the end of today, you should be able to describe which resources animals and plants compete for and why they do need these resources, okay? And hopefully, we can describe the structural, behavioral, and functional adaptations of organisms. And hopefully, we can describe what an extremophile is. I know that word sounds like extremophile. What does that mean? We're going to learn about it, okay? Now, this topic is actually a really, really big topic. So this might take us about 2 screencasts to actually go through it, all right? But let's begin. So the first question we're meant to ask now is, what is adaptation then? What is adaptation? Now, so adaptations are special features which helps organisms to survive and produce in their habitat. So when we break that word down, there's no way you're going to survive if you're not adapted to the environment. The reason why humans survive on Earth is because we are adapted to Earth's environment, okay? If we decide to go to another planet, okay, like Jupiter, we'll probably end up dying because we're not adapted to survive in Jupiter. And if we end up surprisingly going to Mars, we'll end up dying as well because we're not adapted to live on Mars. Obviously, scientists are working on ways of providing ways of changing the Mars atmosphere. But what is important for you to know is we are adapted to our environment, okay? And this is why we're able to survive, and this is why we're able to reproduce as well, okay? Now, let's look at this scenario, okay? Imagine you're an alien, okay? And you've just landed on Earth. I need you to choose 5 adaptations that will help you to survive, okay? So there are different adaptations there. So I need you to choose 5, but make sure you choose them wisely. What are the adaptations that might allow you to survive on Earth? So pause the video and choose this adaptation. All right, are we all done? Okay, let's go for it. Now, so you're born. You've just been born and you're a very vulnerable predator. And you're very vulnerable and predators are around and you must need to protect yourself. So what are these adaptations we might need? Okay, so if you've written camouflage, all right, if you've written camouflage, you gain 30 points. All right, if you've written you need a thick skin, well, you've gained a 10 points. All right, if you've written if you have thick fur, you gain 5 points. Otherwise you lose 30 points. Okay, so obviously remember you need to survive in an environment. So camouflage will be the top point. Honestly, top point, because you don't want to be easily seen and killed, if that makes sense. All right, thick skin might be needed due to maybe the environment, including the thick fur as well. All right, so the next one, let's look at the next one. Now you're old enough to start venturing out on your own now. What do you have to sense? What do you have to sense your environment? What do you need to sense your environment? Okay, what adaptation? Can you think of any? Yes. Okay, let's have a look. All right, 10 points, you must have large eyes to be able to see. Another 10 points to have large ears for you to be able to hear. 10 points for whiskers, you can feel your environment. Okay, you can feel the wind, the temperature. Another 10 points to have 360 degrees vision. Okay, I hope you've written those things down as well. Brilliant. So let's look at the next one then. So you're really thirsty, you need to survive. How can you find and collect some water? Think about those points and write it down. Okay, are you done? Let's have a look. So you gain 20 points if you have whiskers. You gain 20 points if you have long tongues. Okay, sometimes water might be deep into the ground and you know. And also, if you haven't written any of these things, I'm sorry, but you lose 20 points in this case. All right, let's look. Let's go. Okay, let's look at another one. Hunting for food. You now need to find and catch your own food. Is your body is your body adapted to do this? Okay, what are the things you need for your body to be able to adapt for you to find food? All right, so 20 points for each of this. Claws, okay, for fight. To fight your praise, okay. Sharp teeth to tear up the food. Strong running legs like a cheetah probably. And strong climbing legs. Okay. So if you've written this point, 20 points each. Okay. Well done to every one of you. All right. Let's look another one. Food is running low. Salad time. Okay. So your prey is running low in numbers. You're forced to eat plants instead. What adaptations do you have to do this? Think about this one carefully and write it down. All right. Are we done? Brilliant. So 30 points if you've written grinding molar, okay, your teeth. 10 points having to climbing legs, true, and then otherwise you lose 20 points in this. I guess that was almost a difficult one, but well done to most of you. All right, another one, okay. A ferocious predator is nearby hunting. How can you avoid it? All right, think carefully for this one. All right, are you all done? Let's have a look, okay. Now, you gain 20 points from having climbing legs. Sometimes you have to hide on top of a tree. 30 points, which is brilliant, for having camouflage for you not to be seen easily. Otherwise, you lose 20 points. Okay. Now, cold winter. It is approaching the end of the year and the winter is approaching. How can you keep warm? I believe this picture is from Ice Age, if you've watched Ice Age. But how do you think you can keep warm? All right, all done? Okay, let's have a look. I believe we should get this right, okay? So you get 20 points for having thick fur. You gain 10 points for having a thick layer of fat to keep warm. Otherwise, you lose 60 points. Now, that's a big point to lose out, but that's because these points are meant to be very, very obvious for you to get. But it's fine if you got it wrong, but now you know, okay? All right, so fight. Another member of your species is trying to move into your shelter. You need to fight them off. What adaptations would you have? All right, let's have a look. 10 points if you have horns, yes. 20 points if you have thick skins so that you can be more protected. 10 points if you have sharp teeth or claws, otherwise you lose 10 points for that one, okay? And the question, if you got a score of 80 or more, then congratulations, you are a survivor. And if you haven't got that mark, well, better luck next time, okay? Now, let's move on. Now, we are firstly going to find out about some animals adaptation, okay? And what I know is that inside your resource pack is actually information about some of these animals that I would definitely ask you to read about, okay? So what we're going to do really is you will be going on an expedition to the desert or the Arctic, and you're going to read some information about the animals, okay? And also, I need you to add this information to your sheet as well, all right? And what I'd like you to do, obviously, you're looking at this lecture right now, this online, so obviously, there's no way you can talk to your partner about it, but obviously, it would be great for you to have conversation with the rest of your mates on what you've written down as well, and interact on this particular topic, all right? So, read about the animals in your habitat as well. I need you to add information sheet, and talk to your partners about it, okay? Your classmates about it, on some of the information you found, if that makes sense, okay? Now, so far, what we have learned really is we've looked at the structural adaptation, so physical adaptation of a body part. For example, white feet, okay? Now, living things have 3 types of adaptation: structural, behavioral, and functional. So these are the things we've covered in this lesson, okay? In the next lesson, we're going to cover a lot more. But what I need you to do is, for the next lesson, I need you to read down this adaptation of a rabbit and highlight some of the information, okay? And make sure you go through the resources and make sure you send us an email if you've got any question.